Hi, hello, how are things? My name is Sierra Black and I built a weed house. Not a weed house. Well, a weed house. It has a weed farm in the basement and it is kind of like a merchandising headquarters plus a house that a family of Sims lives in. I can explain. I was watching an Architectural Digest video with Seth Rogan. He was doing a walkthrough. I think it was his houseplant headquarters, and houseplant is a weed company or a weed merchandising company like bongs and ashtrays and lighters and sort of thing. I just thought it was a really cool, interesting building. It was very California almost. It had a little bit of a retro California feel. I'm not an architectural historian or anything, but it gave me Mad Men vibes. Like if there was a sequel to Mad Men set in California, this would be a great house to have a party in. Also gives kind of like a beach house, like a family who lives on the beach sort of house, and a clubhouse for 80s and 90s kids where you could just go and play video games. All these things wrapped into one, and I thought it'd be a really interesting thing to recreate. And it was definitely. I've been doing a lot of medieval builds at this time. It was the opposite as far as color schemes, bright, neon, and I typically don't build with white walls. This was a really fun challenge for me to not always go for the dark tones and the dark color. I had the idea to recreate this build first. Never really have had any interest in adding the basemental drugs mod. I personally don't need my Sims to do cocaine. With glitches in my game, they already act like they do cocaine anyway. I did want to try it out. I've been having a lot of fun dealing drugs to my Sims. My family of plant Sims lives here, plus I also made Seth Rogan into a plant Sim just for fun. His name is Seth Romaine. It's really cute. He lives here, and the dad of the family, his name is Denzel. Seth and Denzel have been childhood friends, and now they own this business together, and they're just trying to make a living. And it's been great setting everything up. I'll have the basement and a top floor in a second part. I built 2 separate apartments. I put all the bags of weed on the coffee table, on the dining room table, and set that for sale. I was kind of thinking of going for a hipster sort of showroom. Kind of reminds me of like thrift stores I've been into that kind of look like a house, but it's also a thrift store. And I like how everything's working, and I've really enjoyed playing this lot, so I'm excited to show it today. And I have been trying to kind of toggle with the way I do my build videos throughout the video. I kind of got this idea from art videos and doll face recreation videos where they don't really talk through the whole video. They'll just kind of come in at certain points to talk about something specific. So I'm going to try to do that with this video and see how I like doing the commentary that way. This part of the video, I'm just trying to figure out the floor plan. This is always how I do my floor plans. I need to put down the furniture and then build the walls around it, kind of see how I like everything. And then also extra necessary for this build, I was following an original that was in a video. I tried looking up just pictures of the house. I couldn't really find it, so I played the YouTube video and then replay it and replay it and replay it to kind of get an idea of the layout. I'm sure this is not exact, but I like how it looks. It's a good way to make sure I have space for everything. You definitely want to have space for your Sim things as well, like the places to dance and I would say a table to eat, but they're plant Sims, so they don't eat. And I also have these kind of special doors, so I needed space for the doors because they're open doors. So yeah, I just really wanted to make sure everything was proportioned correctly. These shelves, this was the point in the Architectural Digest video where I knew I was going to try to recreate this. It never shows the kitchen in the video, but I kind of see like an island in the background, so I was kind of basing it off that. But in the video where they show these shelves of the collection of ashtrays that Seth Rogan has, I just thought that was so beautiful and I wanted to recreate that as much as possible in the game. There's kind of like these earth tones slash jewel tones of all the ashtrays, and that's not really possible to recreate unless I find more CC that matches the pots and ashtrays. I do have a pottery mod. I'm sorry, I can't remember the creator of the pottery mod, but I'll link it in the description. When it comes to The Sims, it can be really difficult to match a color, especially if it's not black or white, and even sometimes you'll have different whites or different blacks. Don't even get me started on that, but I was very lucky that I was able to find this shade of blue in all these different items, like the windows and the doors. That has to be my favorite part of this build. To have something be so simple as the blue and white, but still make it look deliberate and like it's matching. That's to me, that's very difficult to do in The Sims, especially with the blue. So I'm very pleased that I was able to get matching blues in The Sims 4. It's kind of a big deal. Now, this is something that I could not get to work in my favor. Why does this happen with the gates? Why can I not center a gate as I center a door? I really don't understand why I can't do that. Like, if gates are basically just walls, you can put a door in a wall and move it around. Why can't I align the gate the same way I align the door, you know? So that was a little disappointing. I am adding a glass roof to the build. Made it go, how do I say, like hand in hand with the rest of my Pierisim neighborhood, and it just made it really fit in more with the houses I built around it. This glass roof overlay is actually a mod. It acts as a solar panel almost, where it adds to your electricity bill. I'm pretty sure that's the function of the mod. I personally, now that I think of it, haven't really noticed it. That just could be just me not like just adding mods and not knowing, which is terrible, by the way. That just could be me just like adding mods and not remembering what goes what, but when I was linking the CC for this, I saw that. I didn't realize that you could not just put a TV on top of the fireplace mantle. So I had to use the tool mod to raise the object just how I wanted. Because I don't think it would let me just raise the TV. I think that's very similar to the original build. No, it's not. In the original build, I think they have a TV mounted on the wall. I liked how it looked better with windows all across that wall, so I decided just to put the TV on top of the fireplace. Here I am adding a bunch of enlarged bushes and trees. I think all of the ground was pebbles. It seemed like, very eco-friendly, not a lot of grass taking up a lot of water that California does not have. I also had them plant some flowers out here. They never harvest them, but that's something I hadn't done before, just planting flowers but never having the Sims harvest them. They look really cute, except actually it's winter in my game right now, so they're dormant. Not as cute, but when it's spring, they'll be cute again. In the video, it looks like there's a lot of greenery, almost like a privacy level of greenery where you don't want to see your neighbors. So I wanted to try and recreate that so you didn't just see these white fences. And it actually makes it really homey when they're out in the front yard. I usually have the Sims go out in the front yard. The dads usually smoke a joint in the morning, wake and bake. They come out here and play horseshoes, and I'll have the mom relax on the hammock, and it's just like a nice way to start their day since they don't have a big backyard or anything. It's an aspect of it that I think really makes it more of a family home. Alright, the tool mod is perfect for getting the right shaped rug, seriously. And here I am going through, I had to force myself to lighten everything, like lighten the rug, lighten the coffee table. I was gonna do this stacked end table thing. Honestly, watching it back, I kind of like it better than what I did. But it was because it was dark wood and I don't think there was a light wood option. And I was trying to make myself like pick light options and not rely on what I personally like and what I'm used to. In the Houseplan HQ walkthrough, there is a hammock in the front yard, a beautiful blue and white hammock, which I wasn't able to find, but that would have been dope if I found a matching blue hammock. Could you imagine? But that didn't happen. I did find these hammocks though. They both work really great. I'm gonna link them both in the description below. I think I decided to only use one of them. I was originally gonna do 2 of them, but once I started putting in more plants, I really wanted everything to be surrounded by these big green shrubs. I just thought it looked better without the 2 hammocks there. And I'm so surprised we didn't get any hammocks with did we get some hammocks with slime? No, right? But yeah, I would highly recommend those. I think that would be cute in a lot of different types of front yards. First I had a gate going around the whole house. I decided to break it apart. I had so many plants around the front yard of the house that it looked kind of awkward trying to get those same shrubs to go all the way around towards the back, and I really didn't want them to just cut off randomly as well. I separated the front yard and the backyard, made a great area for like the little trash nook, especially since this lot is a trash lot or something. Like they have to manually take their trash to the landfill, which is actually a pretty fun, as far as like family gameplay, have them like have to sort through their recycling and then go off somewhere with the trash. It's like I can just pretend they're running an errand. I love those three trees go up and that are small and go up and down like that. I was able to put a different sort of bush situation in the backyard, which the backyard just has kind of like a cookout party vibe. And the backyard has a different sort of look, especially since the fences are higher in the backyard. And it feels a little more sunken in. I don't think I have to worry about those big privacy bushes that I have up front. This is some other special CC that I will be linking below. I have a lot of record store CC saved onto my computer because I guess one of these days, once I'm done building the 15 things that I want to build, I'm going to build a record store for my Sims. It does look really cool and I think it adds to the slot, especially since the Sims that I built, I do feel like they're guys who would listen to records. This arcade CC is so good. I do think I went a little overboard. There's not this many. I think there's one arcade game in the original. I just like the pack so much. It's an arcade pack. You put down the frames of the arcade first, add the screen to it, and you can do different screens, mix and match, which is great. And there's a lot of style options for the actual, I don't know how to say that, but for the actual frames of the arcade game themselves. The only thing is this claw machine. I love the way this claw machine looks, even though it's a little annoying because the Sims want to play it all the time. You can use it and it usually just gets you little Sims figurines. Sometimes you get like gems or certain special things, items that Sims can find. And my Sims use it all the time, and I just sell whatever they get and just pretend like it isn't happening. I really just like the yellow of it and how there's like kind of like neon lights on the side, which I think look really good in this corner here. This piece of CC that I have on the wall is part of the arcade set too. I just thought it was so cool. It's like an old game console that somebody took apart and framed. People really do that? That would be so cool. I don't know if my parents still have the GameCube that I had when I was like 14, but I would love to disassemble it and then frame it. I just wanted to point that out because I don't know if you can really tell from the video, but it's like a controller and a console and like a couple of discs, kind of like some sort of time capsule. This is sort of like an office slash conference room that I put together based on a room from the houseplant build, obviously. I actually have the kids do their homework in here, and something that always happens to me because I like to build these elaborate lots. Oh, and I also really love this printer. It's a part of the Office CC pack by Pierisim, I think. I think it adds a lot to this room, just having that little printer sitting there. Sometimes small things can really add a lot. Small, innocuous, pointless things can really add a lot to a room. But I was gonna say, because I really put a lot of detail into my builds before I even have Sims move in and establish their lives, that their bills were crazy the first week that they ended up having to sell that computer right there. And since I have the kids do homework in there, once they had money again, I replaced it with the little tablet computer from Cottage Living, and I actually like how that looks in there much better. But I probably will add more kid stuff to it over time, like kids paintings and drawings, because they don't need a office room necessarily, so it's probably not something I typically would put in a build, but it didn't go unused. It's not just an unnecessary room, they do use it. I really wish I kind of would have kept these red chairs. Maybe I was thinking overall when you walk in the front door and you like look straight back, I wanted that. I think the blue probably looks better. And again, this like sort of, is it a baby, like a baby blue? It kind of looks like it has an ash to it. I don't know if that's correct, but again, I was able to find another blue that matched. Maybe I'll do an all blue house, that'd be funny. Is this color in more things than I realized? I don't know. I am placing more arcade machines in the kitchen, but I love the pop of color that they provide. They're really like sculptures, like seriously. Oh, I love these paintings on the ground. It is some English words, which I'm getting a little like loosey-goosey. I used to just be a pure Simlish girl. If it had English on it, I'd just be like, no, can't do it, just can't do it. Now I'm like, if it's something you really like, I just put it in, and now I'm to a point where I don't even notice it. If you think about it, it's something is translating into English for you to be able to read everything and see everything and read letters that in emails that they get, right? So maybe it's like a dual language society. I don't know. We could just make it that. Why not? There are some countries who have two national languages. Why not The Sims? I really do love this kitchen. The cabinets, like the cabinets in the counter is I'm pretty sure they're not from matching sets. I might be wrong about that, but they might be both from Harrie, the CC creator, but I don't think they're the same sets, but I think they look really good together. And the unfortunate thing is, because they're plant sims, they do not eat at all, so they never use this kitchen. But I'm happy I put an espresso bar in here, and in the little espresso station with the tea kettle and stuff. I like how that turned out. You gotta get yourself some cookie jars and some storage, of course. And every morning I probably have at least one sim come in here and make coffee, just so I can feel like we're getting some use out of this kitchen. I was really trying so hard to make this portrait leaning on the counter work. And I feel like I had to like move it around and rearrange it. I'm so glad I kept it, especially the yays of the different rainbow colors, keeping again the brightness and almost like the cartoony colors. And I really, even though it's again, I say this again, even though this is basically a weed dispensary / underground weed basement, I do think it makes a really pretty family home. I really do. And then here I am doing something very silly. I did not know you could just click on the room and then raise the platform. So I had this idea to use this bench as kind of like a step up, because I originally didn't want to put a platform there because I just thought it'd be too big and ginormous, which it looks ugly, but it looked okay inside. It looked okay ugly inside, but outside it just looked ugly. So I had to figure something else out. And I think that's the point I got to, where I had to Google it and figure out that I just needed to raise the floor inside the room. I think I just had this extra room for some reason. Actually, I know, I really wanted to do the shelving, the ashtray shelving that they had in the video, but I also wanted to put a window there, so this is why I closed off this room and ended up just creating a pantry for the Sims, which is just like a little cute touch, but it's not really a utility room that they can use. Well, I guess I do have decorations in there, so once Christmas comes around, that'll make things really easy. And they do have some ravishing storage bins in there where they can actually put storage in, which is pretty cool. But again, they do not eat, so this is a lot of effort I put into this for a family that truly never eats. I have I think it's from Brazen Lotus, takes the fizzy juice bar and then creates a bunch of little decorative sets, and that was definitely very beneficial in this build. Take apart the little pieces and just have them in certain little corners. Really added to, I don't want to say like, I guess the broiness, is that a good word? The broiness of the build, and I say that lovingly. It really added to it. Okay, we have finally gotten to the point where I finally fixed the floors, and I definitely wish I just would have went to Google and searched this earlier, how to do this and why my floors were so shrunken. At first I thought I just would have to like make the whole one part of the living room, and which would probably be cool if you had this step down into the living room. I actually think that would have looked really nice, but I had already put together a shelf behind the register. Just to be very truthful, I did not want to do that again, so I hit undo, and I decided to just up the level of every floor on the bottom floor, which then it just made everything unaligned, and I had to go back and align everything, which was very annoying, but I got it done. Their outdoor like patio area would be such a great place for them to have parties. I haven't had any parties back here yet, but I can't wait. You could have like 2 families back there and it would probably still feel very full and not too crowded. I really like how the colors, almost like primary colors that I put in this build in the backyard, it gives it, I'm gonna use the word again, broy, but sort of feel but kind of elevated, and that sort of like that 80s 90s kid clubhouse vibe. Invite over your friends and hang out, maybe do some edibles, and just be very chill. At the time, I was so attached to having this couch here. I was convinced they would sit there and have their coffee or just have like a little nook to sit. But because they're plant stems, I usually have them go outside as soon as possible, especially in the morning because they're hungry and they need sunlight. I ended up doing away with that couch in the corner, and I really wish I wasn't so attached to it at the time. Now I'm like, oh, I just should have sold it because I had to give up on so many other features just to have that couch there. But it is a nice couch. It is a nice couch. Overall, I really like the colors and the vibes and a very different sort of build for me. And I get to play with a new mod that has a lot of gameplay. I really don't play with some of the more extreme features of the mod, but just growing marijuana and selling it has been a really nice addition to my gameplay. Some pictures of everything, and then I'll do a full walkthrough and have a full CC list on the second part. Thanks for watching. You can like if you want, comment if you want, and subscribe if you're about that life. Alright, peace.